Somewhere in the future, there is a version of you who is waiting. A stronger version, a wiser version, a version who survived the things you are afraid of today. A version who built the life you keep dreaming about. And right now, that person is watching the choices you make. Every morning, your future self watches you wake up. They see whether you rise when the alarm rings or reach for another excuse. They see what you do with the hours you have been given. Because one day, the life you are living right now will become the past that created them. Your future self is not created by one big decision. They're being built by the small decisions you make today. The workout you almost skipped. The book you almost closed. The opportunity you were too afraid to take. The difficult conversation you wanted to avoid. You may think that today does not matter. You may tell yourself that you will start tomorrow, but tomorrow is a dangerous habit. It keeps moving. Every time you say, "I'll do it tomorrow," tomorrow takes one more step away from you. How many dreams have you postponed because you were waiting to feel ready? How many times have you told yourself that you need more confidence, more money, more time, or a better opportunity before you can begin? But what if you never feel ready? What if confidence does not come before action? What if confidence is built because you took action while you were still afraid? Your future self knows something that you are still learning. The perfect moment never arrived. There was never a magical morning when fear disappeared and every answer became clear. There was only a moment when you decided that fear would no longer control your life. And that moment can be today. Not when the new year begins, not next Monday, not after you have more money, not after someone finally believes in you. Today, because your future is not waiting for the perfect version of you. Your future is being created by the imperfect version of you who is willing to begin. Think about the person you want to become. Picture them clearly. Where do they live? How do they think? How do they handle pressure? What habits do they have? What did they have to sacrifice to become that person? Now ask yourself one question. If that future version of you could speak to you right now, what would they say? Would they thank you for wasting another day? Would they thank you for choosing comfort over growth? Would they thank you for listening to every person who told you that your dream was impossible? Or would they look at you and say, "Keep going. I exist because you refuse to quit." That is the truth. Your future self is watching, and every decision you make is either bringing you closer to them or taking you further away. You do not suddenly wake up one day with an extraordinary life. You build it quietly, one decision at a time, one habit at a time, one difficult day at a time. Nobody sees the beginning. Nobody applauds when you wake up early for the first time. Nobody gives you a trophy for saying no to distraction. Nobody celebrates the nights when you keep working while everyone else is relaxing. But those moments matter. Those invisible moments are where your future is built. The world will often show you the result, but hide the process. You see the successful person, but not the years they spent failing. You see the strong body, but not the mornings they wanted to stay in bed. You see the business, but not the risk. You see the confidence, but not the fear they had to overcome. You see the victory, but not the thousands of quiet decisions that made that victory possible. And sometimes, when you compare your beginning to someone else's result, you feel behind. Stop. You are not supposed to have their chapter 20 when you are still writing chapter 1. Your only responsibility is to make sure that today's chapter is worth reading tomorrow. You cannot change the decision you made yesterday. You cannot go back and recover every hour you wasted. You cannot rewrite every mistake. But you can decide what happens next. That is your power. This moment, right now, you still have the ability to change direction. Maybe you wasted years. Start now. Maybe you failed before. Try again. Maybe people doubt you. Let them doubt. Maybe you are scared. Move anyway. Your future does not require a perfect past. It requires a decision in the present. And perhaps the greatest mistake is believing that small actions do not matter. They matter more than you think. One day of discipline may not change your life, but one day becomes two. Two becomes a week becomes a month becomes a year. And one day, you look back and realize that your entire life changed because you stopped waiting for a dramatic transformation and started respecting the power of small actions. Your future self is built in repetition. What you repeat becomes what you believe. What you believe influences what you do, and what you do repeatedly becomes who you are. So, if you want a different future, you must begin practicing the habits of the person you want to become. Not someday, today. Every day, you make negotiations with yourself. I'll start tomorrow. I deserve one more hour. I can skip today. I'll work harder next week. And sometimes, one small excuse is harmless. But the problem begins when excuses become a pattern. Because eventually, you stop breaking promises only to other people. You start breaking promises to yourself. And every time you break a promise to yourself, a small part of your confidence disappears. You say you want to become disciplined, but you do not trust your own decisions. You say you want to change your life, but you keep delaying the actions that would change it. You say you want a better future, but you keep protecting the habits that are destroying it. At some point, you have to stop negotiating. When you say you are going to do something, do it. Not because you feel motivated, not because someone is watching, not because you are guaranteed success. Do it because you gave yourself your word. Your word should mean something. There will be mornings when you do not feel like getting up. Get up. There will be days when you do not feel inspired. Work anyway. There will be moments when you doubt yourself. Take the next step anyway. Discipline is not about feeling powerful every day. It is about doing what matters, especially on the days when you feel weak. Your future self will not be built by the version of you who only works when life feels easy. They will be built by the version of you who learned how to continue when things became difficult. Because life will become difficult. There will be rejection. There will be failure. There will be people who misunderstand you. There will be seasons when you work hard and see almost no results. And during those moments, you will have a choice. You can ask, why is this happening to me? Or you can ask, what is this teaching me? One question makes you a victim. The other makes you stronger. Your future self needs you to choose strength. Not because strength means you never cry. Not because strength means you never feel afraid. Strength means you feel everything and still refuse to surrender. Years from now, you may remember this season of your life. You may remember the room you were sitting in, the dream you were afraid to tell people about, the goal you secretly wanted but were scared to pursue, the version of yourself that felt lost. And imagine being able to go back to this exact moment. Imagine your future self standing in front of you. They are older now, wiser, stronger, everything you once hoped to become. They look at you. They remember every excuse you are about to make. They remember every day you almost quit. They remember the fear you feel right now. And then they ask you one question. What are you going to do? Not, what do you wish you could do? Not, what would you do if everything was easy? What are you going to do with the life you have right now? What are you going to do with this day? Because this day will never come again. You can waste money and earn more. You can lose something and find a replacement. But time is different. Once this day is gone, it belongs to your past forever. And one day, you will give anything for another chance to use the time you are wasting today. So, do not wait until regret becomes your teacher. Listen now. The future you are dreaming about is asking something from you. It is asking for your attention, your discipline, your courage, your patience. It is asking you to become uncomfortable. And yes, it is asking you to sacrifice. Because you cannot build an extraordinary life while refusing to give up anything. Every meaningful goal has a price. The question is not whether you will pay a price. The question is which price you are willing to pay. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret? The pain of starting or the pain of wondering what could have happened? The pain of temporary discomfort or the pain of staying in the same place for years? Choose your pain, because avoiding pain does not make it disappear. Sometimes the pain you avoid today becomes the regret you carry tomorrow. One reason people never begin is because they want to see the entire journey before taking the first step. They want guarantees. They want certainty. They want to know exactly how everything will work. But life does not give you the entire map. Sometimes you can only see the next step, and that is enough. You do not need to know how you will reach the top of the mountain. You only need to take the next step, then another, then another. Progress is often invisible while you are living through it. You may not feel yourself becoming stronger. You may not notice yourself becoming wiser. You may not see the results of your effort immediately, but that does not mean nothing is happening. A seed does not become a tree overnight. For a long time, the growth happens where nobody can see it, underground, in silence, building roots, and perhaps that is where you are right now. Maybe your results are not visible yet. Maybe people are asking why you are working so hard. Maybe you are questioning whether any of this is worth it. Keep building your roots. Keep learning. Keep improving. Keep showing up. Your future self does not need you to be perfect. They need you to be persistent. Perfection will make you hesitate. Persistence will move you forward. So stop waiting to become fearless. You may never become fearless. Instead, become brave enough to move with fear. Because courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is deciding that something is more important than your fear. Your dream must become more important than your comfort. Your purpose must become more important than other people's opinions. Your future must become more important than your excuses. And when that happens, everything begins to change. There may come a time when nobody understands what you are trying to do. Your family may question you. Your friends may laugh at your ideas. People may tell you to be realistic. They may say you are dreaming too big. And for a moment, you may begin to believe them. But remember this, people can only see you based on the evidence you have given them so far. They cannot see the person you are becoming. They cannot see the battles you fight in private. They cannot see the discipline you are building when nobody is watching. And they cannot see the future you are capable of creating. So stop asking everyone for permission. Stop waiting for universal approval. If you wait until everyone understands your vision, you may wait forever. Some journeys are lonely in the beginning, not because you are on the wrong path, but because you are walking toward a place that the people around you cannot yet see. That is okay. You do not need everyone to believe in you. You need to believe in yourself long enough to give your potential a chance. Your future self is not asking you to convince the world. They're asking you to keep going. One day, the people who questioned your beginning may see your results, but do not work just to prove them wrong. That kind of motivation will eventually disappear. Work because there is something inside you that refuses to remain the same. Work because you know you are capable of more. Work because your future deserves a better version of you. And when people doubt you, do not waste your energy arguing. Let your actions speak. Let your consistency speak. Let your growth speak. You do not have to announce every move. You do not have to explain every decision. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is become silent and get to work. While they are talking about what you cannot do, you keep building. While they are doubting, you keep learning. While they are watching, you keep moving. And one day, the results will introduce you. There will be days when you feel tired, days when your mind feels heavy, days when you question everything. On those days, you may not feel like the person who is capable of achieving your dreams. And that is okay. You do not have to feel powerful every day. You just have to avoid making permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. A bad day does not mean you have a bad life. A difficult week does not mean you are failing. A slow season does not mean your journey is over. Sometimes, progress looks like simply refusing to quit. Maybe today you cannot run, walk. Maybe you cannot work for 10 hours. Work for one. Maybe you cannot solve every problem. Solve the next one. Do not underestimate the power of continuing at a slower pace. Rest if you need to. Pause if you must. But do not confuse resting with quitting. There is a difference. Your future self will thank you for taking care of yourself, but they will also thank you for not abandoning your dreams every time life becomes difficult. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to feel lost. You are allowed to take a breath, but you are not required to stay there forever. There is still something inside you, even if it feels small right now. Even if you have forgotten what confidence feels like, the part of you that wants more is still alive. Protect it. Feed it. Give it another chance. Because sometimes, the strongest thing you can say is not, "I will conquer the world today." Sometimes, the strongest thing you can say is, "I will try again tomorrow." And tomorrow, you try again. Then again, then again. That is how people rebuild themselves. Not through one perfect day, but through the decision to return after every difficult one. One of the fastest ways to destroy your peace is to compare your life to someone else's timeline. You see someone your age who is already successful, someone who has more money, more followers, more opportunities, more recognition, and suddenly you begin to feel late. But who told you that you were late? Who created the timeline you believe you were supposed to follow? Life is not a race with one finish line. People start from different places. They carry different responsibilities. They face different challenges. They discover their purpose at different times. Your journey is yours. Stop measuring your beginning against someone else's middle. You do not know what they sacrificed. You do not know what they struggled with. You only see the part of their story that is visible to you. Instead of being jealous of someone else's progress, let it remind you of what is possible. If someone can build something meaningful, maybe you can too. Their success does not take anything away from your potential. There is room for more than one person to win, and your future self does not care whether you arrived before someone else. They care whether you became the person you were capable of becoming. So, focus. Close the unnecessary tabs. Put down the comparison. Stop scrolling through other people's lives while ignoring your own. You have work to do. Your future is not hiding inside someone else's success story. It is waiting inside your own daily actions. Every hour you spend wishing you had someone else's life is an hour you could spend building yours. Look forward. Your path may be different. Your timing may be different. But different does not mean worse. Maybe your journey is taking longer because it is teaching you lessons you will need later. Maybe the delay is developing the strength that success will require. Maybe you are not behind. Maybe you are being prepared. You will fail. Let that truth free you. You will make mistakes. You will choose the wrong direction sometimes. You will trust the wrong people. You will miss opportunities. You will work hard and occasionally get nothing in return. That does not mean you are finished. Failure is an event. It is not an identity. You failed at something. That does not mean you are a failure. But many people allow one bad experience to become a permanent definition of who they are. They try once, it does not work, and then they spend years saying, "I am not good enough." But how could you know what you are capable of after only one attempt? Every skill you admire was once difficult for someone. Every successful person you respect was once a beginner. They were once confused. They were once inexperienced. They were once afraid of making mistakes. The difference is that they did not allow embarrassment to become the end of the story. They learned. They adjusted. They returned. You must learn to do the same. When something does not work, do not immediately ask, "Why am I such a failure?" Ask, "What can this teach me?" Maybe you need a new strategy. Maybe you need more knowledge. Maybe you need more patience. Maybe you simply need another attempt. Your future self is not built from a life without mistakes. They are built from everything you learned after making them. The strongest version of you may only exist because the current version was willing to fail. So, take the risk. Apply. Start. Create. Speak. Build. Try. And if you fail, learn. Then stand up. Because the only failure that guarantees defeat is the decision to stop trying. Every day, you are casting votes for the person you will become. When you exercise, you cast a vote for health. When you study, you cast a vote for growth. When you keep your promises, you cast a vote for discipline. When you waste every opportunity, you cast a vote for the life you say you do not want. One decision will not define you, but repeated decisions will. You do not need to transform your entire life tonight. You need to win the next decision. Drink the water. Read the page. Finish the task. Take the walk. Make the call. Start the project. Go to sleep earlier. Wake up and try again. Small actions may feel insignificant, but your future is built from ordinary moments. The person you become is the result of what you repeatedly do when nobody is paying attention. So, ask yourself honestly, what are your habits creating? If you continue living exactly the way you are living today, where will you be in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years? Do you like the answer? If not, you do not need to hate yourself. You need to change your direction. And direction changes through decisions, not wishes, not motivational quotes, not watching someone else succeed. Decisions. You cannot think your way into a new life. Eventually, you have to act. Your future self is waiting on the other side of the actions you keep postponing. They are not asking for everything at once. They are asking you to take the next step, and then repeat it tomorrow. Comfort feels safe. That is why it is so dangerous. It does not usually destroy your dreams in one dramatic moment. It destroys them quietly, one excuse at a time, one delayed decision at a time, one comfortable day becoming another. You tell yourself, I'm not ready yet. But sometimes, not ready is simply fear wearing a more acceptable name. You stay where it feels familiar, even when you know you are no longer growing there. You keep the same habits, the same routine, the same excuses, and then you wonder why your life is not changing. But growth demands something from you. It asks you to become uncomfortable, to be a beginner, to make mistakes, to risk looking foolish, to walk into rooms where you do not feel completely confident. And that is not weakness. That is the price of becoming more. Your future self was not built inside the comfort zone. They were built in the moments when you almost said no, but chose to try. When you almost stayed silent, but chose to speak. When you almost quit, but decided to continue. When you were afraid of failing, but realized that staying the same was becoming more painful than taking the risk. There is a version of you on the other side of discomfort. You cannot meet that person by staying exactly where you are. You have to walk toward them. And yes, it will feel uncomfortable. That is how you know you are growing. Do not run from every difficult feeling. Some discomfort is not a warning sign. Sometimes it is proof that you are expanding beyond the life you used to accept. The next level of your life may require a version of you that does not exist yet. So build that person, one uncomfortable decision at a time. There will be a period when nothing seems to be happening. You will work, you will learn, you will improve. And still, the results may not arrive as quickly as you expected. That is where most people quit. They confuse a lack of visible results with a lack of progress. But progress is not always visible. Think about everything that must happen before a building reaches the sky. The foundation comes first, and foundations are not exciting. Nobody stands outside and celebrates the concrete underground. But without that invisible work, the building cannot stand. Your life is the same. Maybe right now you are building a foundation. You are developing patience, learning discipline, recovering from mistakes, gaining experience, becoming emotionally stronger. And perhaps you cannot see the final structure yet, but that does not mean your work is meaningless. Trust the process, not blindly, but patiently. Keep learning, keep adjusting, keep improving. Do not expect the first version of your effort to be perfect. Your first attempt may be terrible. Your second may only be slightly better, but improvement is often too small to notice from one day to the next. Look back after 6 months. Look back after a year. You may barely recognize the person you used to be. That is why consistency matters. Not because every day will feel important, but because ordinary days create extraordinary results when they are repeated long enough. Your future self understands this. They know that the life you admire was not built in 1 week of motivation. It was built through months and years of choosing to continue. So when the results are slow, do not panic. When nobody notices, do not stop. When progress feels invisible, do not assume it is gone. Keep building. The roots are growing. And one day, what was happening in silence will become impossible to ignore. Many people chase success because they want something. More money, more freedom, more recognition, a better life. And there's nothing wrong with wanting more. But be careful. Do not become so focused on what you want to achieve that you forget who you need to become. Because success can give you things, but character determines what you do with them. The real transformation happens inside you. The discipline you build, the patience you develop, the courage you discover, the ability to keep your word, the strength to remain humble. Those things will stay with you long after a single achievement is over. Your future self is not only waiting for you at a destination, they are being created through the journey. Every difficult situation is asking you a question. Who are you going to become because of this? Will rejection make you bitter or wiser? Will failure make you quit or improve? Will success make you arrogant or grateful? You cannot control everything that happens to you, but you can control what you become in response to it. And that is one of the greatest powers you have. Maybe you cannot change your starting point. Maybe you cannot change the mistakes you made. Maybe you cannot change what someone else did to you, but you can decide what happens next. You can decide that your past will be a lesson, not a life sentence. You can decide that your pain will teach you, not define you. You can decide that the person you were yesterday does not have to control the person you become tomorrow. That decision belongs to you. And every day, you get another opportunity to make it. You have waited long enough. You have planned enough. You have imagined enough. Now it is time to move. Maybe you have been waiting for more money, more knowledge, more confidence, more support. But ask yourself honestly, what if those things come after you begin? What if the knowledge comes while you are learning? What if confidence comes while you are doing? What if opportunities appear because you finally started moving? You cannot discover every answer while standing still. Some answers only appear after you take the first step. You do not have to be great to begin, but you must begin if you want the chance to become great. The first step may be small. That is fine. Send the application. Open the document. Go for the walk. Make the phone call. Watch the lesson. Write the first sentence. Record the first video. Do something, because action creates momentum, and momentum can change everything. You may not change your entire life today, but you can change the direction of your life today. And direction matters. A small change in direction can lead you to a completely different destination. Your future self is not asking why you did not start years ago. They are asking whether you are going to start now. Stop punishing yourself for being late. You are here. You are aware. You still have time to take the next step. So take it. This moment may not look important, but years from now, you may realize that this was the moment everything began to change. The greatest battle you will fight may not be against another person. It may be against the voice inside your own head. The voice that says, you are not good enough. The voice that reminds you of every mistake. The voice that says, someone else could do it better. The voice that tells you to wait until you feel confident. You have listened to that voice for too long. It is time to question it. Not every thought deserves your trust. Just because you think you cannot do something does not make it true. Just because you failed before does not mean you will fail again. Just because someone rejected you does not mean everyone will. Your mind can become a prison if you allow fear to control every decision. But it can also become your greatest tool. You must learn to speak to yourself differently. Instead of saying, I can't do this, ask, how can I learn? Instead of saying, I always fail, ask, what can I do differently? Instead of saying, it's too late, ask, what can I still do with the time I have? Better questions create better possibilities. Your future self did not arrive there because they never had negative thoughts. They arrived because they stopped obeying every negative thought. You do not have to believe every doubt. You do not have to follow every fear. You can acknowledge the fear and continue. You can hear the doubt and take the step anyway. That is mental strength. Not having a perfect mind, but learning not to let an imperfect mind control your entire life. Maybe you think this journey is only about you. Maybe you believe your decisions affect nobody else. But the person you become will touch more lives than you realize. Your future family, your friends, the people you will meet, the person who may one day need your story, the person who may be inspired because you refuse to quit. You may never know who is watching your example. Someone may see you start again after failure and find the courage to start again too. Someone may see your discipline and question their own excuses. Someone may hear your story and realize they are not alone. But first, you have to become the person with the story. You have to go through the difficult chapter. You have to survive the days that try to break you. You have to keep walking when you cannot yet see the reason for the journey. Your pain may not be meaningless. Your struggle may be preparing you for something greater than your current understanding. One day, you may look back at the hardest season of your life and realize it was teaching you the strength you needed for the next chapter. So, do not give up in the middle of the story. You have not seen the ending yet, and perhaps your future self is standing at that ending, looking back at you, hoping that you will keep going. Your future is not created someday. It is being created right now, while you are listening to this, while you are deciding what to do after this moment, while you are choosing between another excuse and another attempt. Your future self is being built. Every action is a brick. Every habit is a brick. Every difficult choice is a brick. And slowly, day after day, you are building a life. The question is not whether you are building something. You are. The real question is, what are you building? Are your daily choices creating the person you want to become? Or are they creating a future you secretly fear? Be honest with yourself. If you continue doing exactly what you are doing today, where will your life be 1 year from now? Do not answer with what you hope will happen. Answer based on your current actions. Because hope without action is only a wish. Dreams without discipline remain dreams. Potential without effort remains unused potential. You cannot control every result in life, but you can control whether you show up. You can control whether you learn. You can control whether you try again. And sometimes, that is enough. Your future self does not expect you to have everything figured out. They do not expect you to become successful overnight. They simply need you to stop abandoning them. Every time you quit on a goal because it becomes difficult, you move away from the person you could become. Every time you return and try again, you move closer. So today, choose carefully. Your actions are sending a message to your future. What message are you sending? Are you saying, I will keep waiting? Are you saying, I am too afraid? Are you saying, maybe someday? Or are you saying, I don't know exactly how, but I will find a way? That last sentence can change everything. You may believe that changing your life requires a massive transformation, but sometimes it begins with one decision. One decision to stop making excuses. One decision to take responsibility. One decision to wake up tomorrow and do something differently. You do not need to change everything tonight. You do not need to become a completely different person before you go to sleep. But you can make one promise. One real promise. And keep it. Maybe your promise is that tomorrow you will wake up 1 hour earlier. Maybe it is that you will finally begin the project you have been avoiding. Maybe you will exercise. Maybe you will study. Maybe you will stop giving your attention to something that is destroying your peace. Choose one thing. Then do it. Not when you feel like it. Not when someone reminds you. Do it because you decided. This is how self-respect is built. You begin trusting yourself again. You begin proving to yourself that your words have value. And slowly, something changes inside you. You stop seeing yourself as the person who always gives up. You begin seeing yourself as someone who follows through. That identity is powerful, because once you believe that you are disciplined, your actions begin to change. Once you believe that you are capable, you begin looking for opportunities instead of excuses. But remember, identity is not created by repeating positive words in the mirror. It is created by evidence. Give yourself evidence. Keep one promise, then another, and one day you will look back and realize that the person you wanted to become was created through hundreds of small promises that you finally decided to keep. Maybe your life does not look the way you imagined. Maybe you thought you would be further ahead by now. Maybe there are things you regret, opportunities you missed, relationships that ended, decisions you wish you could take back. But your story is still being written. Do not allow one chapter to convince you that the entire book is over. A difficult chapter can change the direction of the story. It does not have to destroy it. The person you were 5 years ago made decisions based on what they knew at that time. You have learned since then. You have changed. You have survived things that once seemed impossible. So stop holding your current self hostage to your past. Learn from it. Respect the lesson. Then, release the weight. You cannot move forward while constantly trying to live in yesterday. Your future self does not need you to erase your past. They need you to use it. Use your failures as information. Use your pain as perspective. Use your mistakes as experience. Everything you have survived has taught you something. The question is whether you will carry the lesson or only carry the pain. There is a difference. Pain says, I will never trust again. Wisdom says, I will be more careful. Pain says, I failed, so I should stop. Wisdom says, I failed, so I need to learn. Pain keeps you trapped in the past. Wisdom helps you build a future. Choose wisdom. Your past may explain you, but it does not have to define you. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine meeting yourself 10 years from now. Really see that person. Look at their face. Look at the life around them. Think about everything they have experienced between now and then. Now, imagine sitting across from them. What would they tell you? Maybe they would smile. Maybe they would say, thank you. Thank you for getting up when you wanted to stay down. Thank you for continuing when nobody understood. Thank you for taking the first step before you felt ready. Thank you for not allowing fear to make every decision. Thank you for surviving the difficult days. Thank you for believing there could be something more. Or maybe they would look at you with sadness, not because you failed, but because you never tried, because you spent too much time worrying about what other people thought, because you kept waiting for a moment that never arrived. because you allowed fear to steal opportunities that were standing right in front of you. That is the danger of hesitation. You may not always regret the things that failed. Sometimes you regret the things you were too afraid to attempt. So do not let fear write a future that courage could have changed. You do not have to guarantee the result. You only have to give yourself a chance. Give your dream a chance. Give your potential a chance. Give the future version of you a chance to exist. The person you dream about becoming is not imaginary. They are possible. But possibility is not a promise. You have to participate in your own transformation. You have to make choices that person would make. If you want to become stronger, practice strength. If you want to become disciplined, practice discipline. If you want to become confident, practice courage. Stop waiting to feel like the person you want to become. Start acting like them in small ways. Ask yourself every morning, what would the future version of me do today? Would they spend the entire day avoiding responsibility? Would they quit because something became difficult? Would they allow one negative comment to destroy their confidence? Or would they take a breath, adjust, and continue? You already know many of the answers. The problem is not always that you do not know what to do. Sometimes the problem is that doing what you know is uncomfortable. But that is where transformation begins. Knowledge is not enough. You can watch every motivational video, read every book, listen to every successful person, but your life will not change until your behavior changes. Inspiration can light the fire, but action must keep it burning. So after this video ends, do not simply feel motivated. Do something. Let this moment become more than a temporary emotion. Let it become a decision. A decision that the future version of you is worth fighting for. One of the hardest lessons you will ever learn is that meaningful things take time. You can work hard and still wait. You can do everything right and still see no immediate result. You can plant the seed today and see nothing tomorrow. It does not mean the seed is dead. It means growth has a process. We live in a world that teaches us to expect everything immediately. Immediate answers, immediate results, immediate success. But your greatest achievements may require years of patience. Do not let a slow result convince you to abandon a meaningful goal. There is a difference between being on the wrong path and simply being impatient. Learn to recognize it. If you need to change direction, change it. If you need to improve your strategy, improve it. But do not quit simply because the timeline is longer than you expected. Your future self may be standing further down the road because you were willing to keep walking when the destination was still invisible. Patience does not mean doing nothing. Patience means continuing to work without demanding that the reward arrive immediately. Keep planting, keep learning, keep improving, keep showing up. Your future may be closer than you think. Be careful about what you give your attention to, because where your attention goes, your life follows. Every hour spent comparing yourself to strangers is an hour you cannot spend building yourself. Every hour lost to meaningless distraction is an hour removed from your future. You do not have an unlimited amount of attention. You do not have unlimited energy. You do not have unlimited time. So protect them. Not everything deserves access to your mind. Not every argument deserves your response. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every notification deserves your time. You must become selective. Ask yourself, is this helping me become the person I want to be? If the answer is no, perhaps it deserves less of your attention. Your future self needs your focus, because dreams require concentration. Success requires consistency. Growth requires attention. You cannot build something meaningful while constantly allowing everything around you to interrupt your direction. Sometimes you need to disappear for a while, not because you hate people, not because you think you are better than anyone, but because you need space to hear your own thoughts. Space to work, space to grow, space to become. There will be time for celebration later. Right now, build. There will be a moment when quitting feels easier than continuing. Maybe you have been trying for months. Maybe you have failed several times. Maybe nobody notices your effort. Maybe you are exhausted. And in that moment, remember why you started. Not the applause, not the money, not the recognition. Remember the reason that existed before anyone believed in you. Remember the dream that kept returning to your mind. Remember the life you imagined when you were brave enough to believe that something better was possible. You do not have to solve everything today. You only have to survive this moment without making a decision you will regret tomorrow. Take a breath, step back, rest if you need to, then return. Sometimes you do not need more motivation. You need recovery. And there is strength in knowing the difference. Do not destroy yourself trying to prove that you are strong. Real strength includes knowing when to rest. But when you are ready, get back up. The world does not need you to be perfect. Your future does not need perfection. It needs persistence. The person you want to become is not created by never falling. They are created by learning how to rise. Again and again and again. At some point, you have to stop waiting for someone else to change your life. Nobody is coming with a perfect plan. Nobody's going to knock on your door and hand you the future you dreamed about. People can help you. People can guide you. People can support you. But ultimately, your decisions belong to you. Your life is your responsibility. That may sound frightening, but it is also incredibly powerful. Because if your future belongs to you, then your future can also be changed by you. You can choose differently. You can learn something new. You can walk away from what is destroying you. You can start something meaningful. You can rebuild. You can begin again. Do not spend your entire life waiting for permission. You do not need permission to improve yourself. You do not need permission to dream. You do not need permission to begin again. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to change your direction. You are allowed to become someone your past self never imagined. Your next chapter has not been written yet, and that means you still have a pen in your hand. Use it carefully. There will be days when nobody sees your effort. Do it anyway. There will be days when nobody congratulates you. Keep going anyway. There will be days when you wonder whether your sacrifice is worth it. Remember your future. You are not only working for who you are today, you are working for the person you will become. Every healthy choice is for them. Every hour of learning is for them. Every uncomfortable decision is for them. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you are giving something to your future. Think about that. Your future self cannot come back and help you today, but you can help them. You can make their life easier. You can give them opportunities. You can build the skills they will need. You can protect their health. You can strengthen their mind. You can create the foundation they will stand on. That is one of the most beautiful responsibilities you have. You are taking care of someone you have not met yet. You, the future you. And one day, that person will look back at this version of you. They will know exactly how difficult it was. They will know what you sacrificed. They will know how afraid you were. And if you keep going, they will be grateful. Someday is one of the most dangerous words in the English language. Someday, I will start. Someday, I will change. Someday, I will travel. Someday, I will build the business. Someday, I will take care of myself. Someday, I will become the person I know I can be. But someday is not a date on the calendar. You cannot schedule your life for someday. There is only today. And today is where everything begins. Maybe you cannot accomplish the entire dream today. That is okay. But you can take one action toward it. One. Then tomorrow, take another. Do not underestimate what thousands of small actions can create. A year from now, you could be in a completely different place, but only if you begin moving. So let today be different. Let today be the day you stop saying someday. Let today be the day you say, this is my day one. Not because everything is suddenly easy, not because you suddenly have no fear, but because you finally understand that waiting is also a decision, and you are choosing to stop waiting. So before you leave this moment, remember this. Your future self is watching, not judging you, not demanding perfection, waiting for you to make the decisions that will eventually create them. They are waiting for you to choose discipline when comfort is easier, to choose courage when fear is louder, to choose patience when results are slow, to choose action when excuses are available. They are waiting for you to stop asking whether you are good enough and start asking whether you are willing to grow. You may not know exactly where this road leads. You may not know how long it will take. You may not know whether every decision will work. But you know one thing. If you never begin, you will never know. So, begin. Begin while you are afraid. Begin while you are uncertain. Begin while nobody believes. Begin with what you have. Begin with what you know. Begin imperfectly. Because your future does not need a perfect version of you. It needs a committed version of you. A version who gets knocked down and gets back up. A version who fails and learns. A version who gets tired but keeps moving. A version who understands that dreams are not built by wishing. They are built by working, day after day, choice after choice, step after step. And one day, you will look back. You will remember this version of yourself, the version who was uncertain, the version who was afraid, the version who almost quit. And you will realize something. Every early morning mattered. Every sacrifice mattered. Every rejection mattered. Every failure taught you something. Every time you chose to continue mattered. Because all of those moments built the person standing there now, your future self. And perhaps, when you finally meet that person, they will look back at you with gratitude. They will say, "Thank you for not giving up on me." So make that future possible. Get up. Take the next step. Do the work. Keep your promises. Protect your dream. And when the road becomes difficult, remember why you started. Your future is not waiting for someone else. It is waiting for you. And the person you will become is watching what you do today. Make them proud.